Sleep is one of the most vital things humans need to live happily and healthily. When your sleep suffers, so does your health, relationships, and life. Young adults actually need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, although as college students, this can be very difficult to do. With school, work, extracurricular, stress, and one's social life, there never seems to be enough time to do it all. We all know the feeling of sleep deprivation. Exhausted, angry at the world, irritable, and sometimes you feel, well, like this. Unfortunately, not everyone is aware of the detrimental effects not getting enough sleep can have. Sleep deprivation can lead to drowsiness-related accidents, poor academic performance, strain on interpersonal relationships, and many health issues. The fact that sleep deprivation can impact almost every area of your life in a negative way got me thinking. I read this article by Madsen 2021. It was titled Romantic Relationship Satisfaction is Associated with Sleep Among Undergraduate Students. Their goal was to see if there was an association between sleep and romantic relationship satisfaction. They had 60 participants that were all undergraduate students currently involved in a romantic relationship. To assess subjective sleep, they used the Piskey and ISI questionnaires along with a sleep diary. The Piskey, or Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, is a 19-item scale that assesses one's sleep quality over the period of the past month. To assess objective sleep, the participants wore actigraphy watches that recorded sleep duration and sleep efficiency for 3 nights. They also used the CSI-16, or the Couple Satisfaction Index, to evaluate relationship satisfaction. They then used hierarchical regression analysis to evaluate the data and found that greater relationship satisfaction was indeed positively associated with actigraphy-assessed total sleep time. In Madsen's study, they used subjective sleep measures as more of a way to verify the actigraphy data, which is objective and highly accurate and ideal. If it wasn't so expensive, I would have been able to use that, but unfortunately, due to costs, I had to stick to subjective sleep measures for my replication. Another difference between Madsen's study and my own is that I wanted to emphasize the research on sleep deprivation and relationship satisfaction. So for my study, I went ahead and altered people's sleep patterns to create a situation where they would be sleep deprived and see if there was an association between that and relationship satisfaction. For my study, I used a within subjects design that incorporated counterbalancing to control for order effects. I asked a bunch of my couple friends and ended up with 15 participants, including myself and my boyfriend. Out of those, 14 were current undergraduate college students, taking an average of 14 credit hours this semester. The ages of my participants ranged from 20 to 23 years old. My study consisted of 5 nights where I divided all of my participants into 2 treatment groups. For treatment group A, I had them start with 2 nights of longer sleep, where I requested that they got between 8 and 9 hours of sleep. Then I included a washout night, where the participants could get however much sleep that they wanted. Following, you had 2 more nights, and these were the shorter sleep nights, where I requested the participants got between 5 and 6 hours of sleep. For treatment group B, they just did this the opposite, starting with the shorter nights and ending with the longer nights of sleep. I asked that my participants kept notes on the times that they fell asleep and woke up during my study. I also asked that they took notes on their mood and any interactions between them and their significant other that stood out to them. At the end of the 5 nights, I provided a Qualtrics questionnaire that included questions to record all of this data. I also included a Piskey questionnaire so that I could assess everyone's overall sleep quality from the month prior to the study. At the end of the Qualtrics survey, there were 2 CSI 4-item questionnaires to assess the overall relationship satisfaction from after the longer nights and after the shorter nights. Firstly, I calculated the Piskey scores for each of my participants. The Piskey score can range from 0 to 21, with lower scores indicating healthier sleep quality and a score of 5 or more indicating poor sleep quality. You can see here that the majority, or 67%, of the participants indicated poor sleep quality over the past month prior to my study, which isn't that surprising considering that the majority of my participants were current undergraduate students. Then I took each participant's recorded sleep times and wake times and averaged each one's total sleep time for the 2 longer nights, and then I did the same for the 2 shorter nights. After that, I calculated each participant's CSI score for each set of nights. I will quickly show you treatment group A and B's data. Yellow indicates CSI scores that stayed the same, blue indicates CSI scores that were higher for the longer nights, and green were for CSI scores that were higher for the shorter nights. Now here's a graph that compares 2 data points per participant for each set of nights with the corresponding CSI score. To explain how CSI scoring works, the scores range from 0 to 21, and a score below 13.5 indicates notable relationship dissatisfaction. My hypothesis is there an association between less total sleep time and decreased romantic relationship satisfaction? I completed a correlation analysis, and the correlation coefficient was 0.24, indicating a weak positive correlation. In conclusion, the results did show that there was a slight association between less total sleep time and a decrease in relationship satisfaction. There were many limitations to my study. I had a very small sample size. The environment was not controlled, so I wasn't able to control for all the confounding variables that could have influenced the outcome. I used subjective sleep measures instead of objective sleep measures like the actigraphy watch. And with subjective sleep measures like the self-report questionnaires, there's always room for bias or forgetfulness and mistakes over the times that you fell asleep or woke up. I think that research on sleep and sleep deprivation and romantic relationship satisfaction is super important and needs to be continued. A lot of people don't realize the effects that sleep deprivation can have on every aspect of your life. So maybe if people are more aware of this and the research about it, and more people try to fix their sleep schedules, they might realize that sleeping better is truly a cure-all.